morning. Welcome to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you're toking up and tuning in because you know I sure am. We're having a rocking show today. Give a quick shout out to a couple of our sponsors. We've got Yellow Dog Coffee, rock on, got 2 locations in Norman, Oklahoma. We've also got Orca, Oklahomans for Responsible Cannabis Action in Oklahoma. And I've also got another one here. What have we got? DC Live and everything. Mary Jane. Oh, right on. He's right here with us. So we are 3, 2, 1. We're live today. Rock on. How you doing, brother?
Hey, man. I'm excited to be here. I just want to say big shout out to, OTU Media for having me out here today at the bunker. This is kind of like my first official interview that wasn't mainstream or mainstream media. So
we were talking about that on the way up here, man, and that's right on. I really do appreciate you getting me up here like this because this is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to say thanks for having me here once again, Old School, and big shout out to you. I've said it on my show many times that Old School was an inspiration of mine. I was what I would call a post 788 advocate. So I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to do on the ground, prior to 788. But cannabis did help me overcome big things, in my life, and it inspired me in a lot of ways to get involved, especially when I saw people like you, kind of tattooed, and holy jeans, and just making somebody like me feel like they
Sandals.
could be, a part of something and truly make a difference. So you inspire a lot of people. Thank you so much for having me here, and and that's what I want to do is continue to inspire people to want to get involved in what we do.
Right on, brother. It's always inspire and educate. We always, because we have worked together on a lot of education. We've done a lot of events together. And in fact, I was up against you at the Green Grow Expo for our top advocate. Now, that shows you how far we have come. Because we have come together and we were against each other for top advocate. Roo-rah!
Yeah, and I wouldn't have wanted to, I wouldn't say lose, but come in runner up to anybody else. So, man, so this is cool. This is exciting. This is a cool place to be.
It is. Rock on. Down here at the bunker is fun. We have fun in the audience. If you want to be in the audience, all you can do is contact us here at Old School and Co. And the tickets are free. Second ticket is always half price. There you go. Can't beat that.
No.
You got the joke. I love it.
And I want to, just give a big shout out to one of my friends, and we've got some special things going on. I thought it might be, since we were here at OTU Media and on your show, I wanted to kind of make a few announcements of some things that we got going on.
I want to talk about that middies. Is that what you're going with?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah, middies. So there's some exciting stuff. Those of you that don't know Minnie, she does the full spectrum, solventless, application of medication. And we were actually one of the, at my place, Mary Jane Clone House in Dispo, 19th and Sunny Lane in Moore, Oklahoma. Middy's products are special. They're true medication, but she swept Herbage magazine for, pretty much, I would say, every category for her products. You've had some of them.
Oh, yeah, I have had some of them. I do like them. I can't wait till you get some more of them in there. You bet.
So it was really cool because, like I said, she was award-winning through Herbage, and it was kind of the major announcements to everybody of what she does and what she's about. But right after that, she released a penny RSO program.
And, I'm on the RSO program, and I want to give a big shout-out to everybody that's helping me on that RSO program. Tina's Kitchen, Paragon, it's just good. The people at Mary Jane's dispensary, that's where I'm picking up my RSO. Now, we've got, this is coming full circle, because we're talking about, she sells T-shirts down there. I'm going to get one. As soon as I get paid Wednesday, I'm going to come down there and pick up a T-shirt. Now, how does this program going to work?
So it's really unique. So there's kind of different ways, throughout the course of 3 years we've seen, RSO programs work. And typically it's, for the category of patient that needs it. So let's just keep that in mind. But when somebody comes into our dispo or Mary Jane, she has T-shirts, and they're really, really, really awesome T-shirts. And it may be somebody else that wants nothing to do with the RSO, but they're just moved by what this mission is. when they buy these T-shirts of hers, she's got 2 releases. I think they're $25. She's going to donate that penny RSO to the Clone House.
That is right on. I love that.
Yeah, and so that's going to go to the next patient that comes in and says, "Hey, we absolutely need the the penny RSO. It can be expensive. It's true medication, and it does take a lot to put into it. So I think it's a unique way to come about it. It allows somebody to help the next person. And for me, I think if a lot of people were doing a lot more of that in this industry, then we'd have a lot, brighter.
I agree. And that comes back to, we were talking about that bill 2606, right?
No, it's 2646.
2646.
Yeah, that was a patient announcement. There's been a lot of people asking about, was there a patient law change for, the amount of cannabis that once they've harvested as a patient themselves, maybe they're making their own RSO, for whatever illness or need, that they are treating or whatever. So in 2646, what it was before is through the patient limits. They would grow, I think it's up to 12 plants. You can have 6 seedlings and 6 mature plants. But if you're any decent of a grower...
yeah, you're going to get over your limits pretty quick.
Yeah, on maybe 1 or 2 plants, you're going to be over your patient limit.
Yeah.
And so immediately you're at risk of being subject to, what the law is.
Right.
Regardless of what... number of plants you have, you're going to be illegal. And so it was a definite fix and a need for the patients. I think it's a big win for the patients in 2646. That was effective November 1st, and you'll be able to keep all of that.
Keep what you grow. I love that.
Yeah.
Now, this RSO program, like you were saying, it can be fairly expensive. Once cancer patients, once you get up to where you're doing the full regime of RSO, it can get expensive because you're doing a lot of RSO.
Yeah, and that's why you have to have some sort of, when you're going to help a mass number of patients in a program like this, you have to have a unique application. You have to have some sort of donation or a way to get those contributions in order to produce the RSO. So somebody that's maybe not even, like I said, maybe they don't take it themselves, but they have an opportunity to be moved by that mission and want to help somebody else. I think it's cool.
That rocks on, because that just, to me, that's karma. That's full circle for me. Coming in there, getting a T-shirt, that's giving back to the program. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I think it's really cool what Middy's is doing. So and you got to try some of the stuff what she has.
And that's why we try to get it out to. We want everybody to know, this RSO program, that's helping people just like me. And we've got lots of other cancer patients out there that it does help, and we just want to help people.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. We get to see it on a day-to-day basis, and when you see it truly, and you got to say kind of FDA disclaimer. I'm not saying that it can, will, or does do anything, but through patient response and testimony, cannabis helps save and change lives. It really does, in my opinion.
In my opinion, it saved my life. I'll give you that right there. I'll tell you what, we're going to take a short break on that right there. You're sitting here watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toke up and tune back in. Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toke up and tune back in because I do during the break. I'll tell you what, if you want to be a sponsor of Old School and Co., all you got to do is go to our Patreon page. That's www.patreon.com/Old School and Co. It's easy to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we've got different sponsorships levels, and we've got sponsorships I'm going to give a shout out to. We got Be Elevated. We've also got Mom and Pop's Grass Station. Easy to say. Wow, I'm just working this up Oh, it's all the coffee.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting here with DC Live and everything, Mary Jane, brother. Rock on. We were covering some pretty good subjects a while ago.
Yeah, one more I wanted to bring up that I think is, awesome for sure, as people get access to medication and is the fact that Oklahoma is this close, and heck, it could have changed this morning, but we're this close to being 1 in 10 Oklahomans are medical marijuana patients.
Right on, 1 in 10. Now that's really a large number.
Yeah, it's a huge number. I think there's like 3.9 million people in Oklahoma, and last I looked was a couple days ago, and it was like I think 380 something thousand
cool. Patients.
Yeah, so it's a huge thing to say, and it's a special thing that and that's why we do, what we've done. I think is to protect, the fact that Oklahomans could continue to grow with this thing and it continue to get bigger.
So it surprised Oklahoma when we passed 788, and they didn't really realize, our legislators or a lot of the straight people that don't use cannabis didn't realize the amount of people that really do use cannabis and want it legalized for just whatever reason.
Yeah, so I think that's cool. I want to give a big shout out to our t-shirt sponsor, one of them, and then of course we'll talk about.
We know I like
we'll
Coke 45.
Old School's why Old School's a little maybe tongue tied coming in after the break. We'll talk about that. But healers not dealers. Big shout out to Every Seed Canico, always providing real medication to the patients. So I just wanted to take a quick second because I love what they do as well.
Wow.
One of the best baked edible lines in the state of Oklahoma. So they're my t-shirt sponsor for the day.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you, they're the ones that have that hash?
Yeah, they have hash.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, it's super, super good. Once again, they're always a solventless application, so true medication.
I love that solventless.
A lot of things when you're doing medicine that way that it's beneficial, to the patient, because when you're getting the true power of everything that's in the plant, that can definitely help people that need it. So,
and that's one thing I like. I'm a full spectrum person, and I like the full entourage effect. That's why I like bud so much. But we get into some of those edibles and things like I was talking about. Was it a brownie?
Yeah, they do
the hash brownie.
Yeah, well, no, the hash is just their hash, but they have brownies, they have the cookies, they have the ones that you can bake yourself, or the ones that are already done. So
the no bakes.
Yeah, so
I like those.
Yeah,
I do like those.
So big shout out to Every Seed Canico. But so talking about why Old School was tongue-tied coming in off the break, he's got Colt 45 from Access THC.
Ping! Okay, there you go. Okay, I've got a camera right here, don't I? I got it. Cool, I nailed it.
Nice.
And in fact, we're going to do a deal here. Now, I've got a Colt 45 pre-roll, and I've got another pre-roll that Karen... Unhappy Chicken was not happy with that. Now we can show these. Okay, now this, can we guess which pre-roll Karen is not happy with?
Unhappy Karen. So what is it? Unhappy Karen?
Okay, Karen, the Unhappy Chicken.
Oh yeah, you gotta put that up to the camera.
I gotta have Karen there. Okay, she's unhappy with one of these pre-rolls. Now I know that what happens sometimes. Karen can't stand up on her own. Sometimes what happens is on these pre-rolls during shipping, whenever you put it in the to carry, if you put it in like this and it's down there like this, that's when this is going to happen. Now, if it's down there like this, it's going to repack and get solid again.
Yeah, when you're talking about packaging, you might say shipping. They might think you're sending them in the mail or something.
Oh no, not doing that. But now, most dispensaries, if you have a pre-roll like this, they will change it out for you, right?
Yeah, anything that happens like that at Mary Jane,
I know at Mary Jane.
Yeah, we would absolutely, of course, do a penny pre-roll on the next visit. So
There you go.
I always want to provide, good quality medication. But we do have a new addition to Mary Jane, and they seem to be providing awesome medication. It's become one of Old School's favorites for sure.
I do like it.
Yeah, and it's by Access THC. So if you're a dispo out there, big shout out to reaching out to them.
And what I really like about it is the terps.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's got a good psychoactive effect, but the terp level on that, it is my profile.
Yeah, I always like to think is the terps is kind of the balancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like if you just have, sometimes we kind of get, I guess, mainly focused on what's this
THC level,
this
THC,
THC percentage, or what's the potency, but ultimately it's the terps that's the balancer for me. Otherwise it's just anxiety, anxiety in a stick.
That's it.
Because I do use cannabis for things that I need it for: anxiety, depression. We could go on with a longer list, but
Oh yeah, it's a long list of what I use. And the RSO helps with in my opinion, helps with my panic attacks, helps with my insomnia, and now we're using it for my cancer.
yeah.
And pain, it also helps with my pain, anxiety.
I use RSO on a daily basis.
Daily basis,
it's a definite medication for me, for sure.
And when I first started, I was saving RSO because people would say, "Oh, John, we got some RSO." And I go, "No, I'm saving because I know some cancer patients, And I was trying to save it for cancer patients coming in. Well, now the plant has taught me again that it works for a large number of things other than just cancer.
Yeah, I believe that it's effective in a lot of different ways. Like I said, in my opinion, can't say it will or does do anything, but
Well, I'll tell you what, in my opinion, it sure helps my panic attacks. I'll guarantee you.
yeah, absolutely.
If you've never been through one, I'll tell you what, it's not something that's fun to do.
Yeah, the very first time that I started medicating with RSO for something that was, for I guess mentally driven, and I thought that, man, this is really, really impactful. Could save lives. People maybe on the edge, or depression. A lot of times going into and just big shout out to mental health and awareness. I think that's something important to bring up on this show.
That is very important.
And yeah, right now is going into the holidays. A lot of people's picture is not the exact same.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that, taking a medication like RSO or something like that could be effective, and somebody that might be on edge or right there, I think it's important. And for me, it was going on to, a lot of people don't know, because I am, DC Live, or most people refer to me as DC Live on these shows, is I started doing lives to overcome something. I have major social anxiety issues. I've been through a lot. I have PTSD. I have social anxiety issues. A lot more interactive on video probably than you see me in a small group of people, and so I think that talking about mental health awareness is important. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
I agree with that 100%, brother. Right on. I'll tell you what, on that right there, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back watching Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. I hope you toke up and tune back in. Welcome back to Wake and Bake with Old School and Co. We're having a blast down here at the bunker today, man. I'm sitting here with my good running buddy DC Live and everything Mary Jane. Now I want to give a quick shout out. We got Diapers for Dads coming up. Several of our friends are running this. Joe Lewis, he's running this. We got Natalie Bruno, and we've also got Frank Urbanic running for mayor. They're all doing a Diapers for Dads. Now I think that's just way cool because sometimes dads are overlooked whenever they're trying to help kids.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention that the three people that you had just mentioned are all, canna-friendly candidates. You got Joe Lewis, a Democratic candidate.
Got Joe Lewis. We've talked to him before.
Yeah, he was down there at the Oklahoma for Cannabis Responsible Action. I think he went to the marches that we've had.
Right.
So big shout out to what they're doing and
on.
those drives. Also, there's going to be other drives to get involved with. This time of year, you've got a lot of different, ways that you can get involved, whether it's, homeless actions or, it's helping, domestic violence and women. There's a lot of different ways to get involved. So I think it's cool what they're doing for sure.
Right on. And like I say, we have talked to all of them at several rallies before.
Yeah. They like I said, pretty much those three that you were showing up to the camera have all supported, many of the actions that cannabis has been a part of, throughout industry or legislative or otherwise. So.
And that's what we've talked about numerous times before. Is we've got to get people in office that are pro cannabis, or at least understand that there's a lot of patients out here that need cannabis, in our opinion.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you've got the legislative session coming up. So no matter what level, I would say, of advocacy you wanted to get involved with, if you care about our program, you should know that there are people against it. Mm-hmm. There's been leadership changes. Kind of what we do. We didn't mention it at the beginning of the video, but for those of you that don't know, kind of the things that we've been involved with, we have an advocacy group called Pitchfork Potheads Oklahoma.
Right on, I love them.
Yeah, and I'm the original member, and there is no hierarchy or whatever, chain of command and all of that, but it's a place where people can get involved with the things that are going on, whether it's drives to help political candidates that are cannabis friendly, or whether it's fair cannabis legislation or whatever.
And whenever we say get involved, we're not saying you have to come down to a rally, you have to go talk to a legislator in person. What you can do is you can email, you can call. That's the thing, just contacting these legislators and getting to know them, and them getting to know you, and that way they know one of their constituents is calling them and talking to them.
Yeah, and going back to what you were talking about, I think it's important that regular everyday people that are qualified to carry out these jobs, that are within industry or advocacy or just passionately moved in however way, and they have the potential to be that political candidate. I think it's time, probably right about now, where you start thinking about positioning those people within the state legislature to protect.
You bet.
That 1 in 10, Oklahoman access, and hopefully even, more so, continue to grow that program.
And that comes back to one of those films that I just love, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Now, he was just a regular guy. It's an old film, so y'all probably never seen it. He was just a regular guy. Something upset him, so he ran for office, and he won, and he went to Congress or Senate, I forget what it was, but he started making a difference. It shows you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be this, you don't have to be that. You can make a difference just as you, and that's what we were doing.
Yeah, what you were talking about, we saw that just recently, probably one of the most recent times where we saw kind of everybody come together, like put the minor stuff aside going into, because like I said, we've got to have a united front in order to protect that 1 in 10 Oklahomans or patients that is changing lives, that is helping stop a seizure for, children that had, seizures for 300, 300 a day.
300 a day.
Some of them, you've heard these stories and these patient testimonials. So the most recent, you had Senate Bill 1101 by Senator
George Burns.
George Burns.
Yeah.
And that was so motivating and reinvigorating and like, let's go.
Let's go
right
right now.
Let's protect what we have. And seeing all those people unite, and and seeing the unfair taxation of this plant that is saving lives, and in that regard more so discriminative in nature than I would say anything else as well. Yeah. But you saw everybody come against it, and that's the things that I'm talking about. Yeah. Like, get involved, support the people that are involved, those political candidates, or encourage the next person. Inspiration, right?
Yeah.
So advocacy.
You're advocates too, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was you you know, and I've people have seen me put it in memes or whatever as sayings and quotes, but I always kind of mention that you know, somebody taught me that advocacy wasn't necessarily ever about one thing or a win, you know, in that regard. It was you that said advocacy was inspiring the next person to want to get involved, to be passionately moved by something. So that's what we're saying.
And it just once you start inspiring people, our good friend Reefer Ronnie, I mean, that guy, he's great. I love him.
Yeah, I like Reefer Ronnie.
He's a great inspiration.
No matter if you agree with Reefer Ronnie or not, I would tell you, like, if he gets involved with something as an advocate or otherwise, like, he's, you know, passionately moved. And
I'll tell you what, if you talk to him, you're going to talk to him about cannabis.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said,
or he's going to talk to you about cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's going to teach you something.
He's going to teach you something. That's what's so right on.
Yeah, big shout out to Reefer Ronnie, dedicated advocate. And like I said, big shout out to the members of Pitchfork Potheads, Oklahoma.
I'm one of the original members.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to mention, you know, as I do on every show, when we ever mention what we do and kind of moving forward with cannabis and trying to grow the program or protect the program or just is that there's no level of, I would say, you know, you have to do what the next person does. There's no like, this is what it is. It's like this moves at every single level, and the only way you move the mountain is when you're moving it from the top, the middle, you know, 3/4 down, and the base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes everybody along that mountain in order to completely push it. So,
and that's what the people don't see is we try to highlight is the thousands and thousands of other people out there that support us, that have helped with 788, getting signatures, talking to people, spreading brochures. That's the people that I love because there's just so many of them out there.
Yeah, and once again, big shout out to your circle and the bunker up here for allowing us to talk about this. But it's not just that this is a media booth or a podcasting station, a freaking phenomenal one, by the way.
Oh, right on. Right.
But these are also the people, and why I wanted to come here and chit-chat with you today. These are also the people that you see, you know, within the movement and moving that needle and fighting for what's right and down at the Capitol. So there's a lot more than just what we're doing here on a video podcast that you see from OTU Media. So once again, big shout out to y'all for allowing me to be here.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give a big shout out to Mary Jane's Dispensary at 19th and Sunny Lane because also you run Wise Choice Meds out of there also.
Yeah, it's something, another thing that we do, right? So
another thing that we do, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't get approved, you don't have to pay, right?
Yeah, that's one of our biggest things was was to always have a guaranteed process and a trust with our patient. But for us, it's more about increasing access. So big shout out, you know, to everybody that's involved with, you know, Wise Choice Med and the amazing team that we have. But in that 1 in 10 patients is something that I keep in my mind all the time. So that's why I'm, you know, involved. We get to increase access. We get to do it at a price that's affordable. I've helped with some of the technical side on making sure that even somebody that's maybe technically challenged could, you know, get an easy pathway through our process. So it's wisechoicemed.com. We do patient recommendations and renewals. So thank you so much for giving me that opportunity.
You bet.
And it's spelled with a Z, so that's what's unique.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, right there. Okay, we've been sitting here talking to DC Live and everything Mary Jane. Drop by and see them at 19th and Sunny Lane in Moore, Oklahoma. You've been watching Wake and Bake with OldSchoolAndCo. Hope you toke up and tune back in.